Hello, I am terrible at drawing and not creative enough in that sense at all, but I love drawing. So I found some doodles, mostly inspired by Riley Autumn, who is a YouTuber who you should definitely go check out if you like bullet journals or doodling or anything like that. She's fantastic. But then also a bit through Pinterest and maybe some other things, other bullet journalers, but I'm not sure where, but none of these are my own. Not a single one, I think. And I've used one pen. It is one of those full color pens, but I didn't use the blue because I think it's running out. I mainly used the black, and then I decided to do some coloring with the red and the green. But this is very much designed for people like me who A, can't think of drawings themselves or easy little doodles that they could potentially use in a bullet journal, and B, who really don't have a knack for it at all. So I'll show you all my doodles and I will talk over them as well to explain what I am doing. I hope that makes sense, and I hope it helps you out. Enjoy! Alright, hello. Now we're going to split this into two parts, so just bear with. Now for this first one I'm drawing a kite, so I'm going to do a V and then another V and then a plus, and then I draw a little tail coming out of it with lots of triangles sort of to make the ribbons, and then I just coloured it in because why not? You'll see a lot of the time I'm colouring in for no real reason, just to add a little something. Now I'm going to make a hot air balloon, so I'm kind of making this light bulb shape almost, and then I've got two lines coming out of it on each side, and then I'm going to draw a straight line, which I kind of had to fix, and then a U shape to make the basket. Now I added these lines, I'm going to call these ice cream cone lines because that's what I always used to use them for, and you'll see me adding them in a lot of things just to add some detail because it's very easy. Ignore those drawings on the left, by the way, they were just a practice run for me to check the camera angle and everything. Alright, now we're going to make a paper boat. So there's two versions of doing this. You can see the first version here, and then in a second I'll show you the second version. I think the second version looks better, but it is also ever so slightly more complicated. You'll see how it's slightly different. So I couldn't even figure out how to begin it. That's really the only difference, and then you add the triangle, you add the lines to connect it, and then you colour in the back. Oh, first I added the detail in the front, then you colour in the back, and then you can add this little X in front just to give it a little bit more. Now we're moving on to some stick figures. So first of all I've got a circle for the head and then a straight line. Now for this I would recommend just copying the lines I'm doing because it's really hard to explain. Just copy the exact angles, or approximate even. And in a second you'll see that I messed up the other leg, but that's alright. It's just a little bit too long, but that's alright. Now for this one I'm going to have it lifting weights above its head, so I drew the head a little bit lower. And this one's probably the easiest of the three to draw. You just need to make sure everything's symmetrical. And then that line just needs to be a little bit longer, which is why I added that, and then you add the weights. It's amazing how effective it is. And for the last one we're going to have it sitting on a line. So I drew the head first and then decided to add the line. And again I messed up the legs a little bit here, but it's alright. It still looks good, I think. And now just for the paddle I'm making like this weird shape, and I can't really explain it. I kind of went for a V on top and then made it into a rectangle. Now we're going to make an umbrella, so for this you're going to go for an upside down U and then just squiggly lines to connect the bottom bit. And then you draw some lines coming out the top. I don't love how I did the spacing of this, but it is what it is. And then you just add like a reverse J on the bottom. And again I coloured it in just for fun. Now this next one is one of my least favourite ones. It's a B, and I just messed it up. Like, I can do it better, but we're just going to have to accept what I did here. So I started off by drawing these lines, and then I should have not done the third set of lines because I needed space for an eye, but whatever. Draw two lines coming out of it for antenna, and then the wings, which is almost like a heart shape but not quite. And then to make it look really effective I just kind of go over it again, and then it looks like it's got two wings. And then this is my favourite part because you can get away with so much by just adding dots, and it just looks like it fills the page even though it is just dots. This next one is really easy. You just need to draw a rectangle first and then a line to the left of it, add some dots, and then add some lines. I did them in red, but you can just do them in black, and there you have it, a notepad. Now I'm going to draw some music notes, and honestly for this one I can't really explain it, you just need to know how to draw music notes. I kind of go from the top of the circle and then kind of round up, but it's almost like a D without the tail at the end, I don't know. Now onto a palm tree, so I started with two vertical lines for the base, and then this shape, you kind of just need to get used to that action. I messed it up a bit, but it's fine. Like, again, it's not the best, but whatever. And I realised after colouring it in that I didn't like it, so I added the ice cream cone lines. And you'll see it makes a big difference, actually. On to this next one, which was a disaster. You'll never guess what I was trying to make. I was trying to make Mickey Mouse, so I just kept trying to fix it, and then I just coloured it in to disguise the mess I'd made. Now this next one is another one I'm not so good at, but I just added it because I'm sure there are people who can do it. It's a cloud, so you start by doing sort of these round things and then a straight line at the bottom. And then to make it look a bit better, I added rain. I went for sort of sideways rain, but you can't just go for straight down rain. Now this next one is one of my favourites. Start by drawing a circle and 2 lines coming out of it. Match the sort of semicircle there. Then draw a straight line down with a triangle base. And then add some shapes to make a globe. I love this one. It's actually surprisingly easy. And it looks really good, I think. This next one's very, very easy. You draw 3 squiggly lines. You can make them match or you can just not, which is what I did. And then draw a semicircle coming out of them. And then lines to make the sun. And again, colouring it in does make it more effective, I think. Now I'm going to show you 2 different types of books. So for this first one, you're going to draw 4 horizontal lines and then connect them at the back with a little rounded edge. And then draw a straight line sort of diagonally coming out of it. I messed this up a bit, but again, we're just going to make it work. And then you round them off at the back again with those rounded shapes. And then you can just add lines to make it look like pages, and then I just coloured it in to disguise the mess I made. Now the other way is even easier, I think. You draw some straight lines, and you can draw however many you like, and again you round them off at the top. Go based off the one on the right so that you don't get the height wrong, and then round them off at the bottom. And then just add the details however you want to. I copied this from whatever drawing I was copying it from. And again, I went wild and coloured it in. Okay, now we're going to draw a pyramid, which is literally a triangle with some horizontal lines and then some vertical lines to finish it off. Now I tried something that I regretted trying then because I did it wrong. I tried to make it 3D, but really what you need to do is not add a second line on top. You just need to go straight down and make another diagonal line, but you know, it's fine, we've done it now. Now we're going to make some mittens. So for this one, I kind of start with the L shape on the left and then I round it off, and I did the same on the right, but you can see it's not as good. I didn't love how I connected them, but I did it and it's fine. And these can be used as mittens or even as oven gloves as well. Okay, this next one, I started by drawing sort of 2 lines with an O on top of it, or a donut, and then I coloured it in so that I could then add the bubble. This is just a weird shaped blob. You can kind of pick how you do it. And I coloured it in, but you didn't have to. I think I drew some bubbles next to it, but again, you don't have to, yeah. Okay, this next one, you draw a U, you can't really see it. A U with a tail, and then you kind of close it off on top with another upside down U and another tail. Just the top bit needs to be a little bit bigger than the bottom bit. I know you can't see it, but it's actually quite easy. This next one's also quite easy. You do a sort of that shape, and then you do 3 V's, or birds, and then you draw some lines coming out of them, and then you just copy the birds coming out of each one. So effective. Onto some balloons. Now I'm not very good at balloons, but you just need to draw some oval shapes, and then add this little tail thing, or at least that's what I do, and then if you want to add the actual tie, you can. I don't know what that's called. Now this next one is going to be a mountain, so we're going to start by drawing sort of a squiggly triangle. It needs to be an imperfect triangle without a base. Then you add some like shape on top, anything you want, and then draw a line coming diagonally down, but again it doesn't have to be straight, and add some shading to that side. Now we're going to draw a Christmas tree, so we're going to start by drawing, I like to go one side at a time, so I kind of start with a diagonal line and then just keep pushing it in, and then I try to mimic it as best as I can on the other side. Now I don't love how I coloured this in, but it's done now. Now I'm going to do a crystal ball. So again, we start with a circle, we've got 2 little lines coming out of it, and round off the bottom bit, and that is it. I just coloured it in and added some detail, which I then regretted, but you know, it's fine, it looks cool. And last but not least, for this section, we're going to draw the start of a rectangle or square, and then just curve the end, and then make these 2 bird shape, I suppose, in the corner. There you go. That's it for part 1 of the doodles. Next week I will show you the second part, which is going to be, I think, sea animals and sky things and envelopes, and there's a couple of other things there as well which I can't remember now. But I hope that helps, and if there's anything you kind of want to see in more detail, because obviously this is quite fast, just let me know in the comments below and I can try and do a slower version of showing how I do it. Again, I'm not an artist, I'm not very good with this kind of thing, and that's exactly why I wanted to make this video, because if I can draw these, then anyone can. Alright, I'll see you soon!